Welcome to Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast. Well, today's weather song is from the Byrds. There is a season to turn. I thought of this song when I stepped outside and felt the cool, moist air this morning. A good song for the changing seasons. Now, what we're going to see is much colder weather with showers across the region today. Showers are going to persist in the southern areas into Friday and Saturday. When I mean the southern areas, I'm talking about Arizona, Colorado, parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Those areas are going to keep unsettled, showery weather through Friday and Saturday, while after today's showers, a cool, dry trend in the central and northern areas. That would be Wyoming, Montana, parts of the Pacific Northwest, and Northern Plains. Another nice weekend coming up. If you did not get out last weekend to take advantage of the fall colors, you've got another nice weekend coming up for that. Mid-October weather pattern change is still on the table. So the middle of the month, hunters are going to want to keep an eye on the weather. More on yesterday's cold connection and solar activity in La Niñas for December, January, and February. Have some new information in I want to share with you on those 3 months. Great photos continue to come on in. This is from the Graybull River in northern Wyoming. Look at the moon up there just above the ridge line and the fishermen on the river. Just spectacular. Another shot there from the Graybull River. From Bear Trap Meadow up around the Casper Mountain area. Couple of great shots there. Now here's the first one we have with wildlife from it looks like a trail cam, Jackson County, Colorado. Nice shot there in the mule deer and the changing colors. And then another aerial photo. This is 2 days in a row. We've got aerial photos near Walden and Encampment. Just spectacular views from the air in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming with those colors. Here's today's satellite photo. You can see the trough of low pressure that is right around parts of the central and northern Rockies right now. This system merging with that front that came in from the northwest. As we go forward, we're going to see this system slide off to the east with another system, one here in Southern California, wanting to drift towards the desert southwest, and that's going to start getting showers going again later this week down in the Four Corners southwest areas of the United States. You can see today's trough coming on in from the west. This is ushering in the cooler, unsettled weather. And these are temperatures relative to average today. You can see that a lot of areas are going 10 to 20 degrees below average with temperatures as that colder air spreads in. This is what moisture looks like through Saturday. You can see in the middle part of the nation a nice swath of significant rain. This is great news for some of those areas that really need it, and more rain for New Mexico and parts of Colorado, Arizona, where they continue to really need that rainfall. And that is going to continue to be a trend through Friday and Saturday in those areas while the northern areas begin to dry out. Now, this is what the upper level pattern looks like for the weekend. Kind of innocuous, really. A west to east flow, but one from the northern Pacific into the region. That's going to keep temperatures moderate, mild, certainly not hot. There's no desert connection. And there's enough instability for a few showers here and there. But all in all, this looks like a very typical first weekend of October weather-wise. Towards the middle of October, this is the change we've been talking about. This is for the 13th of October. Anytime after the 10th or 12th, I think, is when we'll see a colder, wet pattern move into the Rocky Mountain West. That means mountain snow, much colder temperatures on the plains. A lot of details to sort out, but we continue to see that. We continue to see that pattern change mid-month, and we'll keep an eye on it for you going forward. Now, I wanted to show you some of the new modeling that's come in. Yesterday, we talked about when you have La Nina and recent solar minimums and an oscillation we call the QBO, the quasi-biennial oscillation that takes place near the equator. When those three things line up, you tend to have colder early winter seasons. And we're seeing it in the modeling now. One thing that we do here at Day Weather is we do a lot of analog forecasting, which is take a historical perspective in the weather and see if the history repeats itself. And when the modeling starts to match what has happened historically in similar situations, your confidence goes up. I'm going to show you temperature forecast for October. October looks pretty warm for most of the central and parts of the western United States, some coolness moving into the Pacific Northwest. But look what happens after a relatively mild October. November starts to build cold over southern and southwest areas of Canada, parts of the northern Rockies and northern Plains, and then look what happens in December. You see that green? Well, that is setting the stage for some colder than average conditions as we get into December, January, and February. And that continues to match up with the La Nina and solar connections. And this is something that we're going to watch for you in the coming days and in the coming weeks to see if that January, February, and maybe December timeframe ends up being pretty cold for North America, at least for those areas that you see along and east of the Rockies. And we'll keep you updated in the days ahead. Thanks for listening and watching the Day Weather Podcast. We will see you on Thursday. Have a great Wednesday.